sometimes we spend all night long trying to study. We stay up all night long trying to study. And then we couldn't sleep and then break either. It's because the more you stay up all night, the more your mind is wandering around and trying to figure out the problem, trying to figure out that school homework and things like that for you. That mind is asking for you to go to sleep. But you try to stay awake, trying to get through it, trying to figure out all those schoolwork, and that's why it creates stress for you. And for that reason, the more we study, the more we get stressed. Nothing wrong with school. Okay, don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with school. But the way of living, but the way of handling schoolwork is wrong. And plus, the most important thing is because we are not mindful. Because of not mindful, we try and try and try. The more we try, the difficulty is for us to stay focused, because we always get sidetracked. Always get sidetracked. When we try to study, your lover is right beside you. Do you know who your lover is? Your cell phone. Your lover is always beside you. And you cannot study because your eyes are always catching on that lover. Who's in here study while your lover is right beside you? Don't be shy, right? Raise up your hand. Okay. So how can you stay focused in studying when your lover is right beside you, in front of you, next to that book? How can we stay focused? There's no way, is that right? Because when you try to read that book, and then somehow your lover vibrates, because your friends or your boyfriend or girlfriend send you a text message. Now, you're not on those lines and on that book anymore. Now you have to grab your lover. You have to grab your lover because you think that is something important. Even though it's not important, you still grab your lover out from habit. Because of that habit, you always grab it and check. And then when you check, you spend some time with your lover and try to spend some time to answer. And then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now you're out of time. You're running out of time. How can we stay focused? How do we know? Just for that reason alone, it creates stress for us already. Because we tried to memorize it, we couldn't. We tried to solve the problem, we couldn't. Because we are not concentrated. And not just for that. When you go to bed, before you go to bed, you spend a lot of time with your lovers. In bed. That's not it. In the middle of the night when you wake up, you couldn't sleep anymore when you wake up. You grab your lover and spend some time with your lover and you cannot go back to sleep. And in the morning when you wake up, the first thing you would do, either you hit the snooze button or you grab your lover and check your status and everything. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yes? All of us? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so sad. But, and then after that, throughout your day, your lover is always in your pocket, and you always take it out from that pocket to check it. Check on every little thing, even if you don't, if even that lover is not vibrating or letting you know that there's no message or anything like that, but you still take it out from your pocket, try to check, how come he didn't send me any messages? And then you go online to surf the internet, go on Facebook and YouTube. That's our daily routine. From night until the morning and the rest of our day, we spend so much time using our lovers. So please let me know, how can we stay focused? There's no way. How many hours we spend on that lover? Please let me know how many of us using that lover for 5 hours per day. Alright. Okay, while we only have a couple hours to live underneath, while we only have a couple seconds to survive, we spend a lot of time with that lovers already. And that is why we always stress out. That is why our school is always a problem for us. Our education. So in order for us to fix this, we have to liberate our lover for some time during the day and 1 hour before bed. And then after we wake up, we're still not going to touch our lover. And then when we go to the toilet, no lover either. How many of you bring your lover to the toilet and talk? All of you? Yes? Okay, is that a secret place? Yeah? That secret place is for you to go in there and whispering with your lover. But you know there is smell, right? It's smelling there. But we love to be in that toilet to talk. Send a message to our friend, what are you doing? Oh, I'm in the toilet. Oh, how coincident, I'm also in the toilet. We keep doing that. And because of unmindful, you drop your lover into that bowl. Now you have to spend more money to get a new lover. Well, if you spend time in that toilet with your lover, how can we stay focused in doing number 1 and number 2? Don't question, don't ask why you get constipation, okay? Because you're not focusing in doing number 1 and number 2. Alright? So, we need to let go of that lover and don't bring that lover into the toilet. We need to change. Really. Without changing that, you spend a lot of time in that toilet. Instead of just a couple minutes to finish it and then get out, no, you spend a lot of minutes in that. But you don't know that there are many, many people outside waiting for their turn too. So please don't do that. And you have to love the other people too. They need to use the restroom. Alright? But you need to love yourself more than anyone else. Means you have to stay away from your lover as much as possible. That is one way, the best way to stay focused. It's because of technologies, we depend on it too much, way too much. And we use it the wrong way. That is why they always pull us off track. So to support ourselves, to support us from school, there's no other way except besides practicing mindfulness within our breath. Each and every single one of us have our breath, right? We breathe in and breathe out every single second, right? We still survive, but seems like we already died a long time ago. It's because we never pay attention to our breath. We just breathe and breathe just like a machine. We don't even know our breath is long or short. We just breathe. The habit is that habit of breathing. And now, for us to train ourselves, we have to stay focused within our breath. Every breath going in, you have to know that breath, aware of that breath going in, touching your nostril area. Each and every breath going in, you're aware of that breath going in. The breath going out, aware of that breath going out. Knowing each breath go in and out, that is our duty. That is our job. We still breathe. It's just that we only add awareness to it. When we add awareness to it, you will see your monkey mind. Right now, every single second, our mind always fills up with all kinds of thoughts. It's just that we don't have time. We cannot see our thoughts popping up. Now that you let go of everything, try to stay focused within our breath, in and out. Only one thing to do, which is in and out. Now you can see your mind. Your mind, I prefer it as a monkey. Because our mind is popping up one after another with all kinds of thoughts about the past and the future. We live with the past. We chase after the future, but we never stay with this present moment here and now. This present moment here and now is something that we really need and we miss out. So we add awareness to each and every breath going in and out. Within our breath, we don't need to borrow any other objects from outside. Aware of that breath in and out when the thought pop up, instead, well, usually when thought pop up, we always follow that thought. We chase after that thought. Now, when we practice mindfulness, when you stay focused here, any thought pop up, you know right away. You can see the thought right away. Then when you see that thought is existing, all we need to do is just observe that thought, acknowledge it as thought silently, come back here with the breathing again. And then breathe in, breathe out, another thought pop up, observe that thought, acknowledge it as thought, come back here with the breathing again. Just bring your concentration back to this present moment, which is each and every breath. That's all we need to do. We don't need to try to eliminate any thought. Don't do that. Just breathe in and breathe out normally. Don't force our breath. When thought arises, observe it, acknowledge it, come back here. Come back. That's all we need to do. Then when you hear noise, when you hear sound, any type of noise, any type of sound, acknowledge it's a sound, come back here. Don't ask who, why, what, where. Don't ask. Don't follow. Just simply observe that sound, acknowledge that sound, come back here with the breathing again.
There is a pervasive quietness that has gone missing from our lives. A silence that once allowed us to hear the beating of our own hearts and the settling of our own thoughts. If we are honest with ourselves, most of us feel a subtle, low-grade exhaustion that has nothing to do with physical labor and everything to do with the state of our minds. We are perpetually busy, constantly accessible, and relentlessly stimulated. We wake up tired. We move through our days in a haze of multitasking. And we go to bed feeling as though we haven't quite finished being alive for the day. In the midst of this modern frenzy, the wisdom of Venerable Bhikkhu Panikkara comes to us like a gentle but firm hand on the shoulder. Pausing us in our tracks, he offers a diagnosis of our condition that is startlingly simple and deeply provocative. He suggests that our stress, our inability to focus, and our pervasive anxiety are not just the byproducts of a fast-paced world. but the symptoms of a chaotic love affair. We are, he proposes, trapped in a toxic relationship with a lover we keep in our pockets, our smartphone, and until we learn to set boundaries with this demanding partner, we will never find the peace we so desperately seek. Consider the familiar scenario of the dedicated student or the hardworking professional who decides to pull an all-nighter. We have all been there, fueled by caffeine and panic, believing that if we just stare at the screen or the textbook for enough hours, the information will absorb into our brains by sheer force of will. We convince ourselves that suffering is a proxy for productivity. If we are awake at 3 a.m., miserable and bleary-eyed, we tell ourselves we are working hard. But as Venerable Panikkara points out with piercing clarity, the grade rarely reflects the agony. We often fail to solve the problem or memorize the text, not because we didn't spend the time, but because we weren't truly there. The mind was wandering, frantic, trying to force entry into knowledge while simultaneously exhausted. This is the great illusion of our era. The belief that trying hard is the same as being mindful. In reality, a stressed mind is a closed door. When we force ourselves to stay awake when the body cries for sleep, we are not cultivating discipline. We are cultivating violence against our own physiology. The stress we feel is the friction between where we are, exhausted, distracted, and where we are trying to force ourselves to be productive, sharp. We have forgotten that true focus is a byproduct of rest and presence, not a prize won through self-flagellation. But why is this focus so elusive? Why, even when we are well rested, do we find it nearly impossible to read a single chapter of a book or finish a report without looking away? This is where the Venerable's metaphor of the lover becomes terrifyingly accurate. Imagine trying to study for a critical exam while your romantic partner is sitting right next to you, whispering in your ear, nudging your arm, and demanding your attention. You wouldn't be able to concentrate for a second. Your eyes would keep darting over to them. Your body would respond to their presence. This is exactly what we do with our phones. We place this lover right beside our book, right next to our laptop, right on the dinner table. It is the third wheel in every interaction we have. We treat the device with the reverence and obsession of a new romance. We are hyper-aware of it, even when it is silent. Its mere presence pulls at our consciousness. We are not studying. We are managing a relationship with a piece of glass and silicon. We are constantly grabbing at it, checking it, touching it, reassuring ourselves that the connection is still there. How can we possibly expect to retain information or produce deep work when our lover is sitting there, vibrating with potential validation? The tragedy of this attachment is that it has invaded the most sacred pauses of our lives, stripping us of the solitude necessary for human processing. There was a time when waking up was a slow, gradual return to the world. We might have lain in bed for a few minutes, remembering a dream, listening to the birds, or simply feeling the warmth of the blankets. Now, the lover is the first thing we touch. Before our feet hit the floor, we have invited the chaos of the world, the news, the emails, the social comparison, into our sanctuary. We do the same at night. We fall asleep in the arms of the algorithm, scrolling until our eyes burn, denying our brains the dark, quiet wind-down period essential for restorative sleep. Venerable Panikkara notes with humorous but cutting insight that we have even invited this lover into the bathroom, the secret place. It is a stark image, sitting in the most private of rooms, engaged in a biological function, yet mentally projected elsewhere, texting friends, scrolling feeds. We have become so terrified of a moment's boredom that we cannot even use the restroom without digital accompaniment. This constant input leads to a kind of spiritual constipation. We take in and take in, but we never give ourselves the quiet time to digest, to release, and to just be. We are clogging our spirits just as surely as we are disrupting our bodies. This behavior is driven by a deep-seated anxiety, a fear that if we disconnect, we cease to exist. We have all felt the phantom vibration, the sensation that the phone has buzzed when it hasn't. We check the screen, find it blank, and feel a confusing mix of relief and disappointment. Then, we unlock it anyway. We go surfing, as the monk describes, drifting from Facebook to YouTube to email. Looking for what? We are looking for proof that we matter. We are looking for a hit of dopamine to numb the discomfort of the present moment. We treat the phone like a pacifier. If there is a lull in conversation, we grab the lover. If we are waiting in line for coffee, we grab the lover. We have conditioned ourselves to believe that the present moment is insufficient. That real life is happening somewhere else, on a server, in a cloud. But this is the lie of the digital age. By constantly checking on the lives of others or the status of the world, we are systematically missing our own lives. We are trading the depth of the here and now for the shallowness of the everywhere and nowhere. We spend hours a day stroking this screen, tending to this digital lover, while the actual people around us, our families, our friends, our own physical bodies, go unnoticed and uncherished. Breaking this cycle requires a radical act of self-love, which strangely looks like strict discipline. Venerable Panikara challenges us to liberate ourselves from this lover. It is a powerful choice of words. We often think of our phones as tools of freedom. They let us work from anywhere, talk to anyone, but in practice, they are chains. To liberate ourselves means to reclaim our sovereignty over our attention. It means loving ourselves enough to say, no. It means loving ourselves enough to go to the bathroom and just sit there. Dealing with the reality of having a body. It means loving ourselves enough to put the phone in another room 1 hour before sleep so that our dreams can belong to us again. It involves realizing that the urgent text message is rarely urgent, and that the world will keep spinning if we don't check the news for 60 minutes. This isn't just about productivity, it's about compassion. When we take the phone into the toilet and stay there for 20 minutes scrolling, we are being selfish, ignoring the people outside waiting to use the facility, ignoring the family members who might want to speak with us. True mindfulness is recognizing that our attention is a finite resource, and every moment we give to the digital void is a moment stolen from the reality of our own existence. Ultimately, the path away from stress and toward peace is a path of subtraction, not addition. We do not need a new app to help us focus. We need to subtract the distraction. We need to break up with the toxic lover in our pocket, or at the very least, relegate them to the friend zone. We need to relearn the art of single tasking. When we walk, we just walk. When we study, we just study. When we sleep, we just sleep. It sounds simple, but in our current culture, it is a revolutionary act. By putting the phone away, we create a vacuum, and initially, that vacuum might feel filled with boredom or anxiety. But if we hold steady, if we breathe through that initial withdrawal, we find that the space fills with something else entirely: presence. We begin to notice the light in the room, the texture of the page, the taste of our food, the face of the person across from us. We stop vibrating with the phantom anxiety of the digital world and start resonating with the actual rhythm of life. This is the promise of mindfulness, not that we will become superhuman productivity machines, but that we will become fully human again, capable of rest, capable of focus, and capable of truly being here.